What's going on, everyone? My name is Under the Radar, and welcome back to the NCP. This is big. Real quick, I do want to touch on a couple things. One, you're not seeing my ugly mug in front of you because I got my COVID shot, and it has honestly been. Oh, you suck. That was funny. Okay. No, I'm not going to restart. I'm going to leave all this in and just let people. Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, so we got our COVID vaccine, and mine has like kicked my ass to where I feel like I have COVID all over again. Like, I'm so sore. So I'm sitting here naked and with a robe on, and I don't think you guys want to see that, or maybe you do. You know, I'm not here to judge. But either way, we have a team builder for Mr. MattOshea of the Montreal Milotics, and Matt is one of, if not my favorite person to battle in the draft league format. Now, I have a lot of people that I love in the league and in the Pokemon community in general, but that doesn't mean I like to battle them because they have either weird play styles that I don't know how to fight against, or they're I don't know how to explain it, but I don't enjoy playing them as much. Matt, I love playing because he mixes it up every single time. He's not, he plays a certain way. He brings unconventional stuff that catches me off guard. In every single game, it is back and forth. Like, he has a chance to win up until the very last turn. I have a chance to win up until the very last turn, and we have had a couple of games that have literally gone right down to the wire. So I love playing Matt. I strongly urge every single one of you guys to go check him out if you have not yet. But real quick, let's go ahead and go over the two teams. You can see that my team is a little bit different because I do have an Exploud and a Gardevoir instead of a Wigglytuff and a Lycanroc Doggo. That will again change next week, where Salamence and Gardevoir will then be Dragonite and Mimikyu. Couple different reasons for the team changes, but I'll go over them whenever that change happens. But basically, I wanted Exploud and Gardevoir because I wanted special breakers or special offense, because up until this point I really didn't have any. I had like Nasty Plot, Mesprit, and I had like Calm Mind, Zeraora, and that's it. I didn't have just outright special offense, but now I've got some. So that was the big idea behind those two. So now, looking at his team, he has Urshifu Rapid Strike, he has a Sand Core, he has Sylveon, Kofag, Zapdos, Alakazam, Dragalge, Tangela, Lapras, and Swoobat. So on Matt's team, there's not much I don't think that he cannot bring. I think everything has decent viability versus me, except for Swoobat. Swoobat is bad. Swoobat will not come to this game. I would bet money on it. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, I could see. So I built this team expecting the top 6, because those are 6 that I find are very, very difficult for me to deal with. I find that they have decent checks and decent rolls for everything. Especially with my new acquired Exploud, I think he has to bring Sylveon. I think he has to bring some sort of way to be able to switch into Choice Specs Boom Burst, because if he does not bring Sylveon, that T-Tar is the only other way, and if I'm Silk Scarf with low kick, that can't even switch in. So I think he has to bring Sylveon for sure. I think he has to bring Excadrill, and I think he has to bring Urshifu Rapid Strike, and then T-Tar for Sand to make it really fast, because it outspeeds my entire team, and I'm going to struggle to beat it with having to switch in repeatedly on things like Urshifu, because it's going to make my team very, very difficult to deal with pretty much everything else. So ultimately, I think that the top 6 are most likely to come. Nasty Plot Alakazam or Focus Sash Alakazam is also really, really scary. Dragalge is pretty good, but it relies on, I guess I could run Scald for Stacka, but I don't really have a switch into it, but granted, nobody really has a switch into Dragalge. That's kind of why I want to draft it eventually. And then Tangela, I think, is also really good for a Zeraora check as well as a Zarude check. And then Lapras, I could see him bringing Lapras as a Whirlpool Perish Song trapping set to be able to trap in my Blastoise, and then I don't have a switch into Urshifu, so I could see that coming as well. But let's go ahead and talk about the team that I'm bringing. So I'm bringing Protective Pads Zarude. I'm bringing Protective Pads because I feel as though his only really good check to Zarude is Zapdos, and I don't want this thing to get static. So I'm U-Turn, Power Whip, Darkest Lariat in close combat, just 4 attacks. I want it to be bulk up, but I don't really see a chance to where I could actually bulk up safely. And if I'm bulk up, I want to have Rock Slide for Zapdos. So I'd just rather go max attack, enough speed for Urshifu, and then the rest in bulk. Super standard, but it's really, really good at being a good pivot for the game. to be able to force in Zapdos. I switch out, I drop in something that can pressure it, and then it has to switch back out and never has a chance to roost. So that's kind of where I was hoping to go with this. Next up, we have my Zeraora. It is so weird having a Zarude and a Zeraora and a Zapdos. It is so weird having 3 Pokemon that start with Z's on the team. It's difficult to know what I'm actually doing. But so for this one, I just have a Sugar Berry's Zeraora. It is enough speed for Alakazam, Adamant max attack, 44 HP, very, very standard. But the moves I'm running, Knock Off, Plasma Fist, Close Combat, and Volt Switch. Volt Switch I feel is very, very good at baiting certain things in, like the Dragalge, if that's going to be his check, or like the Tangela, if that is going to be his check. And then I can drop in one of my breakers into the game, which I will get into that a little bit later because I think I have some other important things to go over before that. So Volt Switch is very, very good for momentum. So overall, in the first 2 Mons, between my Zarude and my Zeraora, I have U-Turn, I have Volt Switch. So let's get on to another U-Turner, and that's going to be my Mesprit. Mesprit is super, super important in this game because of U-Turn, Knock Off, Drain Punch, and Stealth Rocks. I need Stealth Rocks up this game because I do plan on spamming Knock Off a little bit with both my Zeraora and my Mesprit. If I'm able to get up Stealth Rocks, that means that Zapdos's heavy-duty boots won't be that useful to him if I knock them off. Well, they won't be useful to him at all if I knock them off, but I also plan on getting a Toxic off on that thing, which I will also go over later. But I'm very physically defensive with 100 attack EVs to be able to guaranteed 2-shot Excadrill, unless it has a vast amount of bulk investment. But with Life Orb, I always guarantee 2-shot. With Drain Punch, I always take two moves unless it's +2 X Scissors or 2+2 Iron Head. So very, very, very good check to that. But U-Turn, also very good for momentum because this also forces in things like the T-Tar. Go for a U-Turn, I drop in one of my 2 close combat users. I go for a U-Turn on the Zapdos and I get off some really good chip damage. So overall, first 3 really good pivoting. I think it's going to be difficult for him to find momentum whenever I'm the one that's always going for the momentum moves. So next up, we have Blastoise. Blastoise is rocking the Rocky helmet this time, which is really cool. And then, wait, what does it? Oh, I thought that said Spadef at first. Aqua Jet, Flip Turn, Ice Beam, and Rapid Spin. Now, this set's a little unique. So I had a couple different moves on it at first. I had Dragon Tail, I had Roar, I had a Shell Smash variant because the only real check he has to that is Lapras, but and that's kind of why I see Lapras coming, because it's a really good check to that. But if he's a Paris Trap set, I wanted to make sure that I could deal with that. Rapid Spin does in fact break Whirlpool, which I did not know until somebody in my FO told me, which big shout out to that. Aqua Jet for chip damage off on the Excadrill, which is really, really nice. And I can even get some chip damage off on things like the Alakazam with priority if it's down to its Focus Sash or something like that. Or if something is very close to dying, I can just go for Aqua Jet, pick it off, and I'm really, really good to go. Ice Beam is there just for Zapdos pretty much, and that's about it. Flip Turn, try to gain some momentum. So I have 4 Pokemon all with momentum moves, which is really, really nice. And that is hopefully to get into my Breaker, which literally claims a kill every single time. And it's not often I say that it claims a kill literally every single time, but this does claim a kill literally every single time. Earth Power, Sucker Punch, Poison Jab, Ice Beam. I changed up these moves a lot. His only real check to this is going to be Zapdos, but I'm sorry, not Zapdos, Lapras, because I'm Modest Nature with still Poison Jab. I'm still Poison Jab because if he is fully Spadef Sylveon, like I'm fully expecting him to be because of Exploud, then I guaranteed 1-shot with that after Stealth Rocks, which is really, really useful. Sucker Punch is there to be able to pick off Alakazam or to break its Sash, so that my Zeraora can clean it up later on in the game. And I have enough speed for... Man, really good question. Adamant T-Tar, I think. I'm pretty positive it's Adamant T-Tar. But yeah, very, very, very good Pokemon in this game. I kind of wish that I could run 17 moves on this Pokemon this week, because if I could, oh boy. And then last but not least, we have got Mence. Now, this is Mence's final game of the season for me, because unfortunately, I am having to drop him because I hate him. I just really dislike this Pokemon. It's not as good as I always want it to be. But I'm rocking Toxic, Dragon Tail, Roost, and Earthquake. I have Dragon Tail to be able to prevent things from setting up on me, like Excadrill or Zapdos from being annoying if I have Iron Defense, whatever, on or whatever type of setup Kofag could be. I can Dragon Tail it out, but the biggest thing that this thing is here for is Toxic. It is to Toxic the Zapdos. Zapdos is probably one of his only checks to this Pokemon because Earthquake plus Dual Wing Beat hits everything really, really hard on his entire team. So if that's his only check to Earthquake Dual Wing Beat, I can get off of Toxic, and I can actually beat it 1v1 because of Roost. Like, Roost just does so much help. I don't know how to speak English, but it's really, really good, this game. I have enough Spadef EVs to be able to live 2 Psychics from... Oh, I'm also Heavy Duty Boots on this, and I'm Life Orbed on Nidoqueen. I forgot to mention that. And I'm Rocky Helmet on Blastoise. But yeah, so I'm Heavy Duty Boots, and I have enough Spadef to be able to... God, what is it? I think it might be any 2 hits from Alakazam that's not Life Orbed and Dazzling Gleam, I think. And then I have enough speed in case he doesn't run any speed on Zapdos, just to be able to try to Toxic it before it can go for a U-turn out on me. And that is going to be the team that I'm bringing against Matt. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, please make sure to leave a like down below for me. Also, make sure you check out all the links in the description for Matt, because like I said, I always love playing him. Very, very phenomenal battler. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Do not give up hope on me yet. What's going on, everyone? My name is Under the Radar, and welcome back to the NCP. This is going to be the week something battle. Can't really remember at this point. No layout, no face cam. I got my COVID vaccine, and it's really knocking me on my ass. Like, I'm literally sitting here in my robe. I'm shivering. I don't feel good. So, we were going to play earlier today, but Matt was a G. I was like, yeah, we can push it off a little bit. So I appreciate Matt. I really appreciate Matt for pushing that off. We're facing MattOshea. Scary ass team. Didn't bring T-Tar. Weird. But he did bring Lapras, like I was kind of expecting. He also brought Dragalge and brought Alakazam. So no Sylveon means that I'm really depressed that I didn't bring the Exploud set that I wanted to bring. Yeah. Part of me just really wants to lead off with my Blastoise, because I am Rapid Spin on it to be able to break Whirlpool from Perish Trap Lapras, which is kind of what I'm expecting it to be. Yeah. Actually, no. Let's do this. I'm glad that I have the Mints. I wish I had more Toxic users on this team, but I just physically could not fit them on the team. Wow, no Sand for Drill is kind of surprising. Zam is something that I was scared of in prep, but at the same time, like, I don't really have a whole lot I can do against it, so here's to hoping. Yeah, let's see what he leads off with. Kelpo. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, so my switch-ins to this don't really exist, by the way, in case you're wondering. Part of me wants to just go for knock. Part of me just wants to go for knock, get rid of whatever item it has, but at the same time, yeah, I have to get rid of its item, which sucks. I didn't really expect this thing to come, if I'm being honest with you. 38 to 41. It was choice specs, which is really good. Draco, I should be able to live this. Does 94 to 112. Just don't get the roll, please. Nice. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to Volt Switch. He's timid, just so we're clear. So that did 86 to 102. It looks like you got a little bit closer to the 86 roll. But that's good that I let off with this and I was able to get rid of that. Because now this thing is a lot easier to take down. I think my Zarude is going to be a really big win con this game, as well as a really big breaker. If Drill comes in, also that did about what it should have. Stays in. Okay. He's at -2, so I'm expecting a flip turn, meaning I'm going to go into my Blastoise so I can get Rocky Helmet chip off on it. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Because if he goes for flip turn, brings in Lapras, Dragon Pulse, okay. Ice Beam does a good chunk. I just go for Ice Beam straight up. I'm just gonna go for Ice Beam straight up. I think he's either going to flip turn or make a hard switch into Lapras, which is fine. Top 5 pick, that's definitely a Lapras. See, lefties. He's not lefties, which is interesting. I'm gonna go into this. I really wish I kept Roar on this thing in case it's some variant of setup. But I should be fine. He brought a really interesting team. I didn't expect half of these mons to come. Like, I was so set on Sylveon coming and something else coming. Freeze Dry. Okay. Doesn't do a whole lot. What I'm going to do here, I think, is I'm going to get on my rocks. So I think this thing is boots. And if I'm able to get a little bit of chip damage off on things like the Urshifu, this is Toph, this is Drill. This is my check to Drill anyway. So I'm going to go for Drain Punch. I almost clicked Drain Punch there. It's okay if he spins, because Drain Punch will be doing 52 to 62, meaning he won't be doing that much to me anyway. He goes for EQ because he's Mold Breaker. Didn't really think about that. That was a bad play on my end, but at least I'll be able to live the next one because of Drain Punch. And now Chople Berry is gone, which is really good. I'm going to keep this thing a little bit healthy. Because I'm able to do some really good damage versus some other things like the Lapras. I can Drain Punch up versus it. And I'm going to probably need to get up my rocks a little bit later on anyway. But now that Chople is gone, that means that my Zeraora is able to click close combat and not really worry about it. Goes for Earthquake, that's cool. I'm going to go for Dragon Tail first to see what they go into. Because if they stay in and click spin, then that's fine. I get a little bit of chip damage. He goes for Rock Blast. That's really interesting. How is this doing so much damage? He's at -1. I mean, I know that last one was a crit, but still, Jesus. And now he's at 50%, which is good. And what comes in? Well, that's awful. How much does Earthquake do to this? Earthquake is a guaranteed kill. I'm just going to pick up my kill. If he switches into Zapdos to Defog, then I can get the Toxic off. Perfect. So Mince picks up a game on its last week on the team. It's about time you got a kill, brother. Oh my god. I really dislike Mince, guys. If I'm being 100% honest with you. Really dislike it. If he goes into Driller again... Tweety. Okay. I kind of want to click Toxic. Because I need this thing Toxic. It is one of my few ways of being able to deal with this Pokemon. Goes for Extra Sensory. That's fine. Does nothing. Please just land the Toxic. Thank you, Mince. You are doing more this game than you have in any other game in your entire life. Thank the Lord. That Toxic is huge because now that he's heavy duty boots, if I'm able to knock that off, the toxic damage plus the stealth rocks is going to be really big. I'm just going to go for Roost here. Goes for Discharge. I don't think this will kill me. Was that a crit? Was that a crit? I don't know how that killed me. Could have just been a really high roll. Either way, I'm going to go into my Nidoqueen, I think. Either way, I'm going to go into my Nidoqueen. Because even an Extra Sensory doesn't really matter whenever I'm firing off an Ice Beam that's this powerful. But the real question is, do I go for a Poison Jab? No, I'm just going to go for Ice Beam. I'm not going to over-predict with this thing. Yep. Because I live this extra sensory pretty easily. And if he goes into Lapras... I have to switch out. I can't believe that killed. Tweety goes for U-turn. Okay. Next time that... Ooh, this is dead. This is dead. Yeah, that's dead. Nice. Nidoqueen picking up a second kill, which is really good. And I have the Zapdos poisoned. Haven't done pretty much any damage to Urshifu. But this is where I'm going to find out if it's protective pads or if it's scarfed. CC, that's a two-shot. That looks to be banded almost. That did a lot. Part of me wants to go for Aqua Jet for a little bit of chip damage. A little bit of chip, that's good. CC again. Take a little bit more Rocky Helmet. Okay. So now I'm in a predicament. I think I have to go into Nidoqueen and click Poison Jab. No, here's what I'm going to go into this first. And then I'm going to switch, because if he's scarfed, he'll switch out first. And then that'll really reveal to me if he's scarfed or not. That CC did a lot of damage. It might not be banded, but it did do a lot. I don't have to worry about rocks, so this thing is always healthy. That means that is he switching out? Or is he going for an attack? He withdrew, so he's not scarfed. Okay. That means that this Pokemon, Zeraora, is phenomenal. He is not scarfed. I'm just going to go for knock, get rid of its boots. And then after that, I'm going to go... Please don't kill. Thank you. Get the knock. Boots are gone. We're looking to be in a really, really good position, guys. I'm going to go for U-turn here. Because I think he's going to roost. He goes for U-turn. Wow. I should live this because of the Tanga Berry. Yeah. Nice. What's he going into? Wow. That might have been Banded Urshifu. That might have been. If he goes in Urshifu, I'm going to drop in my Zera. Here's what I'm actually going to do. I'm going to Volt Switch in case he's Wakan Berry. I'm going to Volt Switch, get off a little bit of chip damage, scout its set. This game is actually looking really, really good for us because Zeraora outspeeds everything, and the only thing that's stopping me is Focus Sash Alakazam from clicking Plasma Fists 4 times. Ice Shard. No, I didn't think about that. Oh, whew. Good job. Wow, I almost choked that. I almost choked that big time. Wow. I almost choked that big time. Okay, I should have just clicked Plasma Fists. I'm going to go for Power Whip here. Man, I can't believe I almost choked that. I didn't even think about Ice Shard. I was so focused on Perish Trap Lapras because I was so scared of that in prep, guys. I don't think you understand. I was so scared. But he's going to go for an Ice Shard again. This shouldn't do too much. Perfect. And Lapras is down. Zapdos dies to Darkest. He has to go into Zam here if he wants to live a hit. I live a Dazzling Gleam. If he doesn't go into Zam here, that's really good. If Zam comes in... Oh, he went into this. Okay, so he's going to Aqua Jet me for damage, I think. I think I'm going to go... I just have to go for Power Whip, I think. Yeah, I just have to go for Power Whip. Nice. Now, same thing with Alakazam. I just have to click U-turn on it. Yeah, I have to click U-turn on it because if it's Nasty Plot, I'm going to be screwed. Dazzling Gleam has a chance to kill me. But that's if it's Life Orbed. Oh my god, that's great. And I think Zero Aura comes in and cleans up. I think Zero Aura comes in and cleans up. Right? I think it does. Yep, I just click Plasma Fists twice. Don't misclick. Is it scarfed? It is scarfed. Ooh. Okay. That's fine. Because I know it's locked into Dazzling Gleam. What I do is I go for Ice Beam here in case he switches into Zapdos. Right? Yeah, I'm gonna go for Ice Beam here in case he switches into Zapdos. Yep. And now we're good, because now that I know he's scarfed, I know he can't be like Nasty Plot and he can't get around Sucker Punch. And he can't lock himself in any one move to where it doesn't really matter that much. Wow. GG's, man. I wasn't expecting Scarf Zam. I was so worried about Nasty Plot and Focus Sash. Damn. Damn. I'm gonna go for Sucker Punch. And there we go. GG's to Matt, man. That was a great game. A 3-0 win. Definitely not the best win. I wish I had Darkest Lariated there, because if I clicked Darkest Lariat there, I won the game 4-0. But if it was Focus Sash or Nasty Plot, I wanted to be able to get in my Zero Aura for free. So like I kind of stand by that play, but at the same time I could see where I could have made a better play there. But either way, GG's to Matt. His links are going to be down in the description below. Please go check him out. I've known Matt for a super long time. Been in a bunch of different leagues with him. He has whooped me multiple times. I have beaten him a couple of times. I believe I've beaten him like twice. He's beaten me like 3 times. Like, it's always back and forth with us. I always love playing the guy. He's genuinely a phenomenal person. Go check him out. His links will be down in the description below. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and head on out of here. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.